And we are back on the Bops and Bangers podcast. And our guest today is someone that performed for our Sing at Home series last year during quarantine, which, by the way, was one of my favorite performances. You guys can check it out on Instagram. And she has a new single coming out this week called We're Not Special. I am talking to Cloe Wilder. Hello, Chloe.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm pretty good. Now, you're only 15, right?
hmm
And you're talking about some pretty deep stuff here. What can you tell us about this new song, We're Not Special?
Well, it's one of the first songs we wrote for my upcoming project. We're putting out a single like every month until this project comes out. So it's kind of like my new era of music, which I'm pretty obsessed with, like eras when it comes to things and color palettes and sounds, and it's my favorite I've ever sounded, and this past year of songwriting has been my favorite. I mean, I've just been like, it's just been so natural and comfortable. But yeah, this song is also one of my favorites off of the project. And it's still like, it's interesting when like you have a song in your pocket. A lot of times when it's time to put it out, I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't like it anymore. And I hate when that happens. And then you fall back in love with it over time. But like, I'm just genuinely so, and it's not like a disliking sort of thing, but like being excited about something like this is actually just like the best feeling. And I'm just really, really excited about this song. Yeah, it's one of
That,
my.
yeah, so you're talking about different eras and ushering into this new era with a new project. Are you talking like about a full length album now that we're
Mhm.
working toward? Really cool.
Yes.
And can you describe what this new era might be like? Like, what's like the aesthetic of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'm just trying to make everything like a little bit darker and a little bit more honest, because my past songs, which I still love, but everything was very like romanticized and kind of sparkly and pink and not that I'm letting any of that go. I mean, not that I'm letting any of that go necessarily, but it's just been fun to kind of experiment more with like a side of myself that I feel like I always come back to when writing songs, and it's just like my sweet little sad songs. Like those are my favorites, those are my babies, and those are what I've been like making behind the scenes this whole time. And that's just kind of always been the type of writing I've been attracted to. And so I think that really the aesthetic is all building off of just like the true and honest writing.
So is that where you pull like inspiration from? Is it like everyday experiences, or like what brings you the inspiration to start writing?
Definitely everyday experiences, like particularly mundane experiences, honestly, like nothing too intense that I pull from. I think I'm just like a very emotional, thoughtful kind of person. And especially when I've like, as a writer, I think that's how I be. Maybe not on a daily basis, but when I enter, like the writing room and that, mindset, that's how I am. And I just kind of pick things apart and make everything sound a little bit like heavier than it might have been at the time. But honestly, that's how I look at things. I feel like that's like the beauty of like writing, is that it's really just all how you look at things, and that can be any way you want, and it can change over time. And yeah, and that's why it's so cool, because I feel like I have like a style now that I feel comfortable with.
Right. Yeah. And that's how you express yourself the best.
Mhm.
We're Not Special. Is it going to have a music video this week, or when are we getting?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, We're Not Special and the music video are dropping on February 2nd. So just like, yeah, literally in a couple days.
Cool. And can you preview the music video at all? Can you tell us something about it?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, it was all on film. It was all on film, which I knew I'd wanted to do an all film music video, and I'm pretty sure all these videos are going to be on film because I loved that experience. And yeah, Jesse DeFlorio directed it, who's been like one of my he's honestly been my photographer for like a long time. Like during the pandemic, we met and he started taking like BTS for me, and we started doing shoots together. And then I just like loved his directing work too. I got to use fake blood just a little bit, but I've always wanted to use it. And that was pretty fun. It's very red. Like the whole video itself is very red. But it's very pretty and very like glossed over, and I feel like it's like an easy thing to watch. And it's the first video, and so like you don't want to like always like give too much of the project, the following project away. Like so I just
Right.
wanted to like give like a nice like little intro. But yeah, and so it's pretty, I think it's a sweet little video. I like it.
That's super cool. I'm looking forward to it. And so getting more into you as an artist, who are some of your biggest influences? Like,
Currently, I've kind of been like into like Phoebe Bridgers and like definitely the more like female folk world. That's definitely where I am. And it's interesting because some of the, what I listen to, before I write a song, or like I like to like just dive into things and just like get inspired. But yeah, and I mean I've been into, like Bon Iver and like that world, and kind of getting into I'm just like trying to listen to things that kind of like weird me out in a good way. And that's what like Phoebe Bridgers writing is like, so witty and dark, and like makes me sad, but like makes me laugh sometimes, because I just love the way that she looks at things. I feel like that's really what it is. And just like finding songwriters whose perspectives on life I love, and like her, her conversational writing and like her visuals, I love that. Just like really taking you to this place that might not like be that interesting necessarily, but you're in this place with her and that's interesting in itself. And so yeah, I just love that. And yeah, I just like listening to people where I can feel like they're talking to me. But yeah, here I can look on my Spotify and see if there's any more. It's really been just like Phoebe Bridgers has been my main one. And then obviously like I have, like Lana Del Rey has been an inspiration from like the very beginning. And then yeah, I'm trying to just like dive deeper into the folk world and do like, the Lumineers and Edward Sharpe, and kind of just like music that even I like grew up on, like Johnny Cash and everything, and just kind of like going back to that has been an interesting journey. And then my co-writer Sam, who I write like all my songs with, he's really like introduced me to a lot of like new music like this past year, like the Bon Iver Fleet Foxes world. So it's like it's fun listening to things that I know I don't like, that aren't necessarily super similar to mine, but just like picking little things that I can like emulate in my own way.
Yeah, pretty cool. Do you have a favorite Phoebe song?
Oh, probably Savior Complex or Funeral. I think Funeral is super, super sad. But Savior Complex is that was like the one that kind of made me like start listening to her. And I saw her live in like, I think like October last year. And oh my God, she was amazing. She was so brilliant. And yeah, it's just one of those people when they just like, they don't have to do a lot to just be like amazing and have like a great presence and just like a light about them. And that's how I feel like about like her music too, is just really like, it's something like I can't even put my finger on it. It's just like if it's her, like I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna love it, because I just think she can do no wrong when it comes to that.
That's so funny. I actually saw her in October as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw her in Austin. I don't know if you ever
Oh.
saw the video when they cut her off and she gets really upset.
Yeah, then they cut off her audio.
Yeah, I was there and I was like, oh, she's not happy.
Cool. Yeah, I saw her here in LA, and it was like one of my favorite concerts.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
So last year you put out your EP, Teenage Lullabies.
Mhm.
And now you have this new project coming soon. Is there going to be like a really big contrast? I mean, you were obviously talking about the colors and the sound. Do you see like or is there some continuation as well?
I think really just in the sound, it's really different. And that's like exciting to me. And it's not like something I even forced. It was just kind of like, this is what I want to do right now. This feels good to me. And so yeah, I think there's a contrast between anything I do, just because like, as an artist and as a person, you change so much in between. It's been over a year since Teenage Lullabies, which is really freaking me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, and then yeah, I mean, I wrote it in like March 2020. And so it's been a long time since I've like, since I was in that space. But yeah, it's different for sure, but I don't think it's like shockingly different. And like either way, like I didn't make any drastic changes to like who I am as a person, it was just kind of like, this is it. And as I like keep writing this project, because it's not done yet. I just kind of like, I know what I want this to look like. Things are still changing. Like it's not like, and I kind of like doing it like that. It doesn't give me enough time to think about things, and I'm just kind of like writing and filming and doing what I want at this particular time, and it just like feels good. I like doing it like this.
Cool. So in the last year, you did a lot. You put out music, you were putting out videos, live performances.
Mhm.
What is your favorite aspect of music? Like, what is your when you whatever from everything you do? What's like the one thing you're like, this is my favorite thing to do?
I really think it would be writing, just because I think I would do that either way, no matter like what I was doing in my life, no matter if I was an artist or not, I think I would still just be writing songs for me, just because it brings me so much joy. And I think it's so cool that we can just like create things like that out of thin air that like bring people such comfort. And I feel like we're all comforted by similar things when it comes to music. And so, yeah, it just makes me feel like a part of something bigger when I write a song, because I'm like, oh, I'm like contributing this, to this. It's just like, I think it's just amazing that all these artists get to do that with their lives. And just, I think everybody feels that way too, that they'd just be doing it either way. But yeah, and I mean, I do love performing live though. I mean, I think that's amazing. I just haven't done it a lot, but like what I've done so far, I've had a lot of fun with. And I think that's great. And that's one of those things I feel like I'm still like adjusting to that and still getting comfortable to that, just because I put out all my music during the pandemic. Right. So I've only played like a few shows, but I mean, I'm playing a show in a couple days in LA and one in New York City on March 9th, which is crazy.
Cool.
But yeah, so I'm just like, it's all coming to life again. So I think I love all of it. I really do. I have so much fun with all of it. I think I'm the least self-critical on my writing. And I think that's why it might be my favorite too.
Nice. So, you were talking about working on your music during the pandemic, of course, no performances. Do you see any advantages to that? Because obviously the disadvantage is you can't perform live and all that, but do you see any advantages to working during the pandemic?
Yeah, I do. And I think that it's something I could have done, at any point in my life. I think I like hunkering down and taking the time for yourself to grow as a songwriter. Like that was really, really beneficial towards me. And like, it was definitely forced because like, what else was I to do, Right. But then I think I could have done that, prior to that. But it was really good. It was really good. It just like forced me to like sit in a room and just be like, okay, what am I doing? What do I want to say? And I knew I wanted to put out an EP. And so it was a good time to do that. And it happened really, really fast. And that's when I met Sam, who I've been writing with ever since. And so a lot of great things came out of that, and a lot of it just like, I definitely fell into this like super comfortable space of writing. And I haven't really like left it since.
That's cool. Okay, so now you're obviously kind of getting out there. People are starting to know Cloe Wilder. So I want to do like a rapid fire round where I just ask you your favorite things and you tell me what they are. Okay? So the first one is going to be your favorite food.
Oh my gosh. That's actually kind of hard. Okay, probably like anything Italian. I really like pasta.
Cool. Favorite ice cream.
Birthday cake.
Okay. Favorite song?
Oh, probably anything Phoebe Bridgers right now.
Funeral.
Maybe I'll go with like Savior Complex, like I said.
To give it, yeah. Okay. Your favorite album?
Oh my gosh. Probably Still Born to Die, Lana Del Rey.
So good. It just turned 10 years old, which is crazy.
I know. Actually, on the same day, my EP turned 1 year old. Lana.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't even know that, but I was pretty excited about it.
That's pretty cool. Your favorite movie?
Oh, that's kind of a hard one. Okay, probably kind of not basic, but probably like The Breakfast Club or like any of those like John Hughes movies. That's really like, those were always my mom's favorites. And I feel like I just kind of like latched onto those.
Cool. Your favorite TV show?
The Office.
And lastly, your favorite vacation destination?
Ooh. Okay, I'm kind of between two because I've really been, I love going to New York City and I was just there, but like that's not super vacation-y. So probably the Cayman Islands. That's where I went to my first writing camp. And it's absolutely beautiful there. And I really go back.
Yeah, I've been there once. I like it. Okay, so before we wrap up, and this is a question I'm going to ask all my guests. This is the last question. What makes Cloe happy?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a sweet question. I would say that just like I'm in a place in my life where I'm kind of just getting to like do what feels right to me, and I get to write songs and make music and just like be a person. And I think that that's really like, I think I'm so supported by all of the people around me, and I'm in like a really, really good place right now. And I think that's it. I'm just happy to be happy, and and I get to make music. Like that's really it. And I get to do that for people. That makes me happy.
So cool. Well, best of luck to you. We're
Thank
Not
you.
Specialists out this week, and that was our conversation with Cloe Wilder. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you so much.